Hey folks, Ray from Love Your RV, and as promised, an update on the Solera Screen Room that I installed earlier this summer. So we've had a chance to use it 2 months, July and August, and overall we've been quite happy with it. I'll just give you a quick rundown of my likes and then some of the things I think they could improve upon. Overall, I really like the material. It's really high quality, kind of a vinyl mesh. It dries really quickly. Some people ask, if it gets wet, does it stay wet long? No, it actually dries out pretty quickly after a rain. Really blocks out the heat. I really like that. It's noticeably cooler when you go inside the screen room versus being outside in the sun. It shades you, but it does let some light in as well, so it's not like you're in a dark little cavern or anything. It's a nice level of shade. Also, you can see out quite well, but people on the outside, where the sun's shining on from the outside, they don't quite see in as well. So I really like it. Gives a really good level of privacy. Where we are, we're in a quite tight RV park. We have a beautiful view out back, but we're pretty crammed together side to side. So it's kind of nice, when the RV's beside you, there are big windows right beside you and they can just peer at you. But with this shade, they can't really see you very clearly. It also has a universal design, so it fits a lot of different awnings. It's a Solera screen room, so it really made to match their awnings. But I have a Dometic awning, and it seems to work out okay. A little bit of adjustment is needed. It also says it can be compatible with Carefree awnings as well. Some people asked about, does it fit back in the bag? A lot of things, once you take them out of the bag, you can't get it back in again. But I gave it a try. I disassembled everything and refolded it, and it took a bit of wrangling, but I could get it back into the bag and zip it up without too much effort. The weight is right around 25 pounds, so it's not overly heavy or anything like that. Okay, let's go with some of the things I found that were a little on the dislike side. Wind, specifically with my awning. I have a power awning, so the arms on them are fairly weak compared to a lot of the manual awnings that are a little more sturdy in wind. So it's a power awning. We roll it back in. So I found with this screen room, because especially the front, you've got a large, I got a 19-foot wall there. So if the wind is going straight on or coming from that direction, once it gets above 20 miles an hour gusting, I have to bring the screen room down. Otherwise, I fear it's going to damage the awning arms because it really starts to flex them. If the wind is blowing from the sides, it's not as bad, or if it's blowing on from the other side of the RV, then it can handle a lot more wind because it's not getting that pressure. It's kind of when it hits that big wall, it kind of acts like a sail and it puts a lot of pressure on my awning. The good part is that it's very quick to bring it down. There's one long zipper that you unzip the main front with, and it drops to the ground, and then the side walls, there's just a clip, and that can drop to the ground as well. So that's one advantage, but you'd have to watch about leaving it unattended, that's for sure. Like I say, other awnings may fare better than my awning as far as wind goes. There was pretty low quality zippers I found, and the snaps. They're kind of plasticky. So far the zippers held up, but I have my reservations about it long term. I wish they had put a little heavier zipper, especially considering the cost of it, and the quality of the material is really good. So I just wish they did a little bit beefier zippers on them. We'll see how it goes. If I end up breaking one, I'll let you know. The stakes that came with it to stake it into the ground, they were just not very big nails. And I found they pulled up very easily, especially in the ground where we've kind of got some gravel on top of the ground, so they just didn't hold firm. But what I did is I went to the local hardware store and I got myself some longer, I think they were 8 or 9, maybe 10-inch stakes, a little thicker, and also they're galvanized. The ones that came, they rusted really quick. They were just steel. So I got some galvanized stakes with bigger heads, and they worked out really good. Once I got them in, it held everything firm. So I think they should maybe provide a little better staking. the awning arms, like I say, can collapse from the weight of it in the wind. Its build is something to keep out insects, but when you install it, I guess it does for the most part, but there is some areas near the top of the awning that are a little bit open, so you'd probably have to mesh it further if you're in super mosquito country. You'd end up getting them in and they'd probably be stuck in there. Another thing is unlevel ground. We are kind of on unlevel ground and front to back. It took a little finagling to set things up right. It's kind of all meant to be on level ground, but it does work. So in conclusion, overall, I'm quite happy with it, and I'm glad we have it. We used it during the summer. I just leave it up unless it gets windy. I have it up, and Anne likes it. She does little art projects on a table in there, and it keeps her shaded, and even when it is kind of breezy, it kind of blocks the wind a little bit for her because she has papers and stuff on her table. So it makes a nice little. She calls it a she shed, and it's also a nice little room for me to do projects. And like I say, it gives us a little layer of privacy. We kind of changed things for our situation. Just using the front wall and one side wall. We leave one end of it completely open because we have such a beautiful view on the estuary or anything, so there was no real reason to have that wall. The door sits at one end, so I kind of changed the material around and swapped it around so that at one end the door was at the end where we have the nice view, and then I just leave it rolled up, so it's made a nice a little screen room for us to suit our needs. So it is you can adjust things to your taste as well. Anyway, till next time, Ray from loveyourrv.com. Thanks for watching, everyone. Cheers, folks.